If you don't put in the work, you're not going to get the results. Well, hello guys, it's Misty and welcome back to my channel. This video is my weekly What Sold on eBay for the week of December 29th through January 5th. Well, it was not good. However, I've had a lot of stuff going on this week with me closing my brick and mortar store and dealing with all kinds of other things that I really haven't put the time and energy into listing or taking pictures or really doing anything. So my sales have shown for it, and my sales were actually down 63%. Yes. Pardon me, that really got me choked up. That's horrible. But you know what? It's the beginning of the new year and I have new goals and I have a new plan. So we're just gonna stay positive and we're just gonna keep listing. That's what we do. We just keep going. So on eBay, I sold 12 things. It was very slow, but I'm blessed and lucky that I sold anything at all because, like I said, I have not put in the work. And if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get the results. And I'm the prime example of that. I also wanted to let you know that this video is actually being sponsored by Skillshare. Have you heard of Skillshare? Let me just tell you that Skillshare is a wonderful platform if you want to learn and grow and expand your knowledge on thousands of different topics. I have actually am wanting to boost up my Etsy store, so I have been watching lessons to help me learn about creating a good SEO and creating better listings on Etsy. I am learning how to create a lot of different things and giving me some more ideas, and watching the Skillshare videos have really helped me out in that aspect. So let me go ahead and tell you just a little bit about Skillshare. Etsy and eBay lessons. What is Skillshare for? Well, it's for creative and curious people, lifelong learners, real working creatives, beginners, pros, dabblers, and masters. Skillshare classes include a combination of video lessons and a class project. So go ahead and check out Skillshare, and in my description you will see a code that you can use to get 2 months free, and you can explore and see if Skillshare is right for you. So with that said, let's go ahead and get on with what sold for me on eBay this week. All right, so this will not take very long because, like I said, I didn't sell very many things. And you can see here that my total sales this week on eBay were $399.80. They were down 63%. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So let's go ahead and get started. Now this, also to kind of add insult to injury, I have 2 returns this week, and I'll go ahead and talk about those as well. This is the first item, sold for $85.50. It's this Antique Master Electric High Frequency Violet Ray Quack Machine. This part right here was made out of Bakelite. Sold for $85.50. Now, the buyer wants to return this item because they said that the box was not made from wood. And as you can see, it is a wooden box. There is dovetail wood right here. I think that the only thing that they're thinking maybe is the top here is kind of a thinner wood, but it's a wood box. It's a wooden box. They want to return it because they said it's not a wooden box. But let me try to get a zoom in on. You can clearly see it is made from a wood box. The only thing that I'm thinking they may have issue with is the top here. So I did accept the return. I'll go ahead and relist it. It's just a little frustrating. But in the new listing, I will, include that the top and the bottom of the box is made more of a particle wood base. You live and you learn and you move on. And it's a frustrating thing, but it's a lesson learned. All right, the next item are these Skechers Shape Ups. These are resistant runners, SRR, men's size 8.5. These were a great sale. They sold for $42.50. It was my full asking price, and the buyer paid shipping. And I paid $4.50 for these at Goodwill. They're in great condition. I only buy shoes if they really don't need much care or clean up to them to make it worth my time. This next item is this little vintage Holt Howard Cozy Kitten 1956 cottage cheese dish server. This was for my own personal collection. I have collected Holt Howard kitties for a while, and I'm starting to move on to other things, so I am selling bits and pieces of my collection. This sold for my full asking price of $38.65, and the buyer paid shipping. It was in excellent condition. The only issue that it had was the inside here was a little bit stained on the bowl itself, as well as on the lid, but there were no chips and cracks on that as well. Anything Holt Howard is very, very collectible, so when you can get it for a good price, always pick it up, but always check out comparables too. The next item was a great sale. This was a vintage Hallmark keepsake ornament. This is Mary's Angel collection. This one is Iris. I actually had 2 of these. I do collect these myself, but I did buy a lot of them in a Hallmark grab bag. So I kept the one that didn't have the original box and sold the one that did have the original box. And it sold rather quickly for $26.50, and the buyer paid, or no, actually I did free shipping on this. This next item is a vintage 1996 Space Jam Michael Jordan Bugs Bunny with Harper Lane Surfer vintage toy. This item is also actually being returned. They said that it was in worse condition than what they thought. I don't understand that, because in the listing I say that there is somewhere around the edges of the package, but the item has never been opened. So it's one of those things. Sold for $18.50, and the buyer paid shipping, but since I was accepting free returns, I'm having it shipped back to me and I'm paying for it. I've recently taken off free returns just for these instances like that. I'm happy to accept a return, but I really am not interested in absorbing the cost to have it shipped back for me. This next item is something that broke my little vintage heart. Is this vintage D. Carlini hand-blown glass Christmas ornament. It had an issue. It was missing the little hanger on top, and I sold it for $26.50. But as I was packaging it up, I dropped it and it broke. So I had to cancel this order. It was an international order, so unfortunately, it's been a rough week for me as far as these sales and returns, but that is the holidays for you. The returns usually run a little bit rampant during the holidays, but this was my mistake. So I dropped this cool vintage ornament and had to refund the money. Sad, sad. Okay, next thing is this vintage 1950s Sleepy Eye ball jointed doll. She was in a green dress. I believe she is a Sandra Sue doll. I wasn't for sure. I did put a question mark in the title because I wasn't sure. I had a lot of people tell me that they thought she was also, look at her. Woo, boy, she is creepy. She has hair. I didn't really mess a lot with her because honestly I was afraid I'd mess her up even more if I cleaned her up a little bit. So I left her as is. Her eyes were very cloudy. Sold for $18.50, and the buyer paid shipping. You can see here she's unmarked. They're cloudy. She was found in an estate sale. She did smell a bit like a basement, so I did disclose that in the listing as well. The next item is a Department 56 Snow Pinions Clay Snow Babies ornament. Sold this one rather quickly for $19.99. It was new with tags, and I did provide free shipping on it. It's a cute little snow babies ornament. This next item is a vintage Marhan Ware Parrot Bird Wall Pocket. This one was in a 5 Things Friday video that I had featured him in, and you can see here he is marked. These things are collectible. There is a huge market for this brand. He did have some condition issues. You can see his tail was chipped, and there was another issue on here somewhere. I thought maybe that was just it. One chip on the tail feather. So he did just have that one chip, and sold him for $22.50. I did offer free shipping on this. The next item sold really quick is this fun little Showbiz Pizza 1986 Billy Bob mini coffee mug. We paid 50 cents for this at a thrift store. Sold it for $18. It's a little 4-ounce mini mug, so it will ship first class. I did provide free shipping on that. This next item is also something that I had in my own little personal collection, was this vintage pink cat. It's just a small little, you can see here, just like 2.5 inches tall little figurine. It was pink, this fun pink, and it had this gold trim on it. Sold within a day for $14.50, and I did do free shipping on that. Was this Kurt Adler Sex and the City Black Rose glass ball ornament. New in the box. This was, oh, I've had this for a very long time. Paid 99 cents for it at Goodwill. Sold it for $15.50 and did provide free shipping on that as well. The last thing is this vintage 1981 Hallmark Christmas ornament. You see them at thrift stores all the time. This is one that I paid. It was in, I think it was 99 cents, and I ended up paying, or ended up selling it for $9 and did provide free shipping on this, but it's still a profit and I'm still happy with selling it and shipping it out to its new home. Well, I mean, it was bad. It was bad all around. But if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get the results. Like I said, so put in the work. All right, let's go ahead and crunch numbers. Well, before I do crunch numbers, let me just say that I have started, you know, it was my New Year's resolution to start listing things on Etsy again. And I've slowly done that. When I'm listing new things, I've been inching them over and cross-listing them onto Etsy as well. I'm starting to list on Etsy again. I am trying to build up my Etsy presence, and, you know, we'll give it a go. I just wish it wasn't as frustrating to list on Etsy. All right, let's go ahead and talk numbers. For eBay, my sales were only $399.80. Now, I say only, and I know that that's a lot to some people, but I do this full time, and that's not a good number for me to be doing this full time. So I'm just going to throw that out there. I did sell 12 items. And on Etsy, I did sell one item on Etsy. I did sell one item. It was a little My Little Pony vintage wallet that I had listed on eBay forever. I had it listed on Poshmark and Mercari. I had it listed everywhere. But it did sell on Etsy for $18. So that was a good sale there. Poshmark, I sold 2 things on Poshmark. Call the press. It's a Poshmark miracle. 2 items. Now, I have cross-posted some things onto Poshmark, so showing a little bit of activity on Poshmark, it does help feed the Poshmark piece. So 2 items that I sold on Poshmark, and those sales were $34.05. And I also sold 2 items on Mercari, and those 2 items sold for $29.80. So altogether, my sales were $481.65, sold 17 items. Again, I do this full time. My numbers should be better than that. All of these items that I have sold does not count for my taxes, my fees, and my cost of goods. I do keep my cost of goods very, very low, and that's the key. Keep your cost of goods very low, unless you're buying a big ticket item that's going to make big ticket bucks. But I don't even like to do that. I'm a junker. I like to find things that I pay a couple dollars for and then sell them for a huge amount of profit. Once you do that a couple times, you want to do that all the time, but it doesn't always happen. So you have to have these little fillers of these, you know, my average cost of goods. I try to keep it $20 in my pocket to make it worth my while. That isn't everybody's business model, but that is what I try to do for the most part. Now, I do sell some things under $20, but typically I've bought them in a big auction lot, or I've bought them in a big box full of other things. So I've made my money on the other things, and that the other things that I'm selling is just kind of extra. So there's always that aspect too. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. It was short and sweet because there wasn't a lot of sales to show. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, hit the bell notification, and you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And I'm gonna go, guys, because I'm gonna go work. I gotta go take pictures of tons of clothing today, which I hate to do, but I'm gonna do it because, well, I have the stuff and I need to get it listed. Anyway, I will